Hello and welcome to Bloomberg Quint. You're joining us on the special conversation with the Piramal Group Chairman, Mr. Ajay Piramal. We are starting this conversation after Piramal Group has closed its acquisition of DHFL, Dewan Housing Finance Corporation, under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Now, this is the first time that under IBC, a large financial services company has been dissolved. This transaction will allow Piramal Group to enter the affordable housing segment, spread its presence across the country in 300 odd locations, and of course adds significantly to the company's loan book. Mr. Piramal, welcome to this conversation. Let me first quickly come to you. 22 months since this process started at DHFL. Now, finally, it's over. You can actually go ahead and take over the company. How's this whole process making you feel now?
I think the process makes you feel satisfied that at the end of the whole period, we've done what we think will be a good acquisition, and we are very happy that 94% of the creditors approved it. We are happy that the way it got approved by the regulators, whether it was the RBI, whether it was the NCLT, and all the other hearings that went on in NCLAT, and even one in the Supreme Court. So overall, I think we're feeling very satisfied and blessed.
Okay. When you started this process, you came in with the view of taking over the retail assets of DHFL. That was the original plan, which of course got expanded to the entire book. If you can tell us a little bit about what went on there, why did you suddenly change your mind? Because retail seems to be the play that you're chasing.
Yeah, so when you look at it, there were 5 rounds of bidding. So in the initial rounds, we were only in the retail space. But there were 2 or 3 things that we realized. One is that during this process, which was a longish process, early on we had not looked at the wholesale. We started looking at it. Second thing, we realized that in a competitive bid, if you wanted to, the way IBC process, it's a pretty transparent process which the COC adopts to select the resolution applicant.
Yeah.
In that process, there's a weightage given. It was given that if you apply for the entire company, you got certain weightage higher than what you would have done individually. So it was not a question of value, but it was the fact that you were taking over the whole company. We realized that. Thirdly, we realized that the value that others were putting on the wholesale, which was public, was not really significantly higher than what is the total value we could have paid for the company. So realizing all this, we said that let's go for the entire company.
All right. With respect to the future of Piramal Capital and Housing Finance Limited, which is going to absorb DHFL's assets, what I wanted to understand from you is where does this take you strategically? How far ahead during this journey of getting more retail does that take you?
So if you look at it, the sort of book that we will get from the housing finance of DHFL to build a book organically would have taken us 8 or 10 years to build. We've seen it from our own experience in retail. If you see it from the experience of other leading players that have now today got larger books, but in the initial period, it does take time. So I think it places us strategically in a way that we will be able to do better. I mean, we will be able to grow on this. Also, in a strategic sense, it is present in tier 2, 3, 4 cities, which is the real Bharat. And that is another strong position that we have. And that forms the core of us getting to do other lending businesses around that.
Sure.
So overall, I think it puts us in a stronger position than what we were there before.
Sure. Affordable housing is a direct benefit to the book, but other than that, what all is the plan with this financial services engine?
So one of the big thing as far as this is concerned is that we want to use it as a phygital model. Phygital as in presence, both physical as well as through digital and technology. And we are saying that technology will be at the core. So in addition to housing finance, we are looking at small business loans. We've started that. We are looking at LAP. We're looking at used car finance and other such areas as well. So It gives us a better, I think at the end of the day, whatever it takes to get to satisfy the requirements, the financing requirements of people who are in Bharat is what we will try to achieve.
Okay. Piramal has traditionally been in the housing finance business on the wholesale side of the story. Now, of course, there is a sizable chunk of wholesale that is coming in through the DHFL transaction as well. What is the strategy there? I mean, retail, I get it. It's the buzzword everybody wants to be on. But what's there on the wholesale side?
So on the wholesale side, the Piramal book itself is a good book. It's a large business. So we don't want to increase our wholesale real estate through DHFL. Whatever wholesale we want to do will be through the books, is through the existing Piramal books. So that's where, yeah. So we will soon actually divest we'll monetize the wholesale book of DHFL.
That would be through sell downs, I'm assuming. That's the easiest.
We'll work out what's the best way to do it.
Okay, fair enough. But is wholesale not part of your growth plans? Is that how we should understand it?
DHFL's wholesale is not part of our growth plan.
Sure, understood.
Not our Piramal.
Understood. Now, with respect to the retail side of the story, let me come to that. There is a competitive advantage that banks hold today. We are at historically low interest rates, and probably I'm not entirely sure how NBFCs or HFCs are supposed to compete with a bank that's offering a home loan at 6.5%. How would you do that?
So traditionally, there's always been banks, whatever be the rate, today it's 6.5, even if it is 10, the cost of funds of banks is going to be much lower than that of NBFCs.
Yes.
So really, then you should have never had an NBFC. But that's not the way. Banks cannot reach, and especially the customers that we are going for, whether it's the tier 2, 3, these are not easily reachable by banks. Also, the way we are doing is it's not only salaried customers; these are non-salaried customers, and to get a risk analysis done and to get proprietary models done around that is not what banks is not their area of strength. Yes, they will do some of it, but not significantly. So that's where we are playing, and that's why DHFL is of so much strategic value to us.
Okay. Adding to that, now when you're growing into the segment, which is homestay for DHFL, but probably new for people at Piramal, how do you bridge that gap?
Sorry, say it again.
My question is that DHFL has been doing this affordable housing in smaller locations for a very long time. This is probably something new for Piramal as you are absorbing this book. How do you bridge that gap, sir?
So that's what we are not. What are we taking over? It's not only the loans that we are taking over. We are taking over the entire team of DHFL. We are taking over the branches of DHFL, and we have even before this have added people who have had the experience of lending in that space, and we will continue to do that. That has been our strategy across every business that we've been in.
Understood.
That we take the team, we invest in more people of that, and grow it.
And what is this growth going to look like? How fast do you think the book is going to grow?
I think it's going to grow. You will see the numbers. I don't want to make future projections.
Understood, sir. Fair enough. Lastly, what I wanted to understand from you is what Piramal Capital and Housing Finance, this financial services entity, what this is going to look like 5 years down the line. I mean, already you're in the leagues with the big guys in the NBFC business. What is this 5 years later going to look like?
5 years later, we will look at it as a book which is a diversified book, diversified between retail and wholesale, diversified in retail between secured and unsecured. On the wholesale side, it will be wholesale real estate, but granular and granular book diversified amongst several developers. It will be in lending to corporates, and it will be, so that's the sort of, you will see that sort of book.
Sorry, just if I can just add to this, Housing, yes, definitely DHFL brings that expertise with you. You also have considerable experience in the wholesale space. But when you're talking about unsecured retail, isn't that something entirely new that you'd be starting, and how would that play out?
Everybody, so yes, we will start new, and that's what we are doing. So we are investing a lot in technology to understand what are, to do AI, to do machine learning, to understand what are the new models, to understand risk, to understand and satisfy customer needs which are there. So we will use technology. We will use the infrastructure that we already have of DHFL. We'll grow that infrastructure. So it's a combination of all this, and we will continue to hire the best talent.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Piramal, for joining us on this conversation, and thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.